passed and are part of the ACA that benefit children tremendously. One of the things that we are aware of is that there are more children covered by insurance today as a result of this reform than ever in the history of the United States. I want to just quickly cover 4 of the kinds of things that are critical to children's health care and their needs among those many that are there. You've heard already, and I want to repeat, the fact that the pre-existing conditions could possibly come back. Now, for a child that, like the one with cerebral palsy I had, that would be devastating because her condition obviously was pre-existing. So we cannot allow that to return. There is another thing that is not very clearly understood at times called rescissions. This implies the fact that an insurance company simply was able to look at the profile of a patient's utilization of resources and cost and say, well, you're too expensive for us to cover, sayonara. And that could come back, and that is not what we need for children. There is one of the things, however, that I think is very, very critical that we take for granted, and that is the preventive health services. Under the ACA, those preventive services were strengthened, such as being able to provide checkups for newborn babies, to provide the vaccinations that they needed, to provide for the ongoing care and offer preventive well health maintenance. I'd like to make a comment about the difference between health care and medical treatment. They are interrelated, but remember, health care is to make people healthy and keep them that way. Medical treatment is to do something after they've already gotten there. And those are the kinds of things that with preventive health care, we can actually do something about. And of course, that lowers the cost. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is what we call the essential health benefits. John alluded to those a moment ago. The essential health benefits under the ACA say basically you've got to provide these particular services. There were 10 essential services that were part of the ACA's requirements for children. Things such as rehabilitation and habilitation care, maternal care and infant care, the preventive care that I have mentioned, emergency room care, hospitalization, ambulatory services, all of those things, dental care, vision care, were part of the essential health benefits. And without those, we have a watered down and very weak system of health care because it is providing the essential care that is necessary to maintain health, to make sure prevention is a priority, and make sure that treatment is available. Those are the essentials that must remain, and those are things that will be tackled first because they are part of the cost mechanism that people see up front without realizing it is the cost mechanisms that would be lowered over periods of time. I could go on and talk about the quality that has been part of the ACA's recommendations and passed into law, which has improved the level of care, moving from a system of fee-for-service to payment for performance. That is a movement forward which ultimately will improve amazingly the amount of quality that we have. But I want to just simply close. I want to close by a couple of comments. When I look out on this group tonight, I am reminded of a pebble that's tossed into a pond. And you know what happens when a pebble goes into a pond? There's a plunk, and then there's circles, and there's circles, and there's circles. And that keeps on moving out and out and out. Now, you all are the pebble in the pond tonight, and we must be able to make sure that we become those circles. And I want to take you back one more time in past history, a little bit more recent past history, to 1962. You'll remember, many of you in this room will remember Peter, Paul, and Mary. And you'll remember that wonderful, wonderful freedom song was written by Pete Seeger. If I had a hammer, if we had the hammer that we need to make sure that justice now for people who need health care in this country, particularly our children, I think we could use it very effectively. So take your hammer and use it.